Rivian has just released a new software update for both Gen 1 and Gen 2 vehicles that brings some exciting semi-autonomous features that were exclusive to Gen 2 down to Gen 1, as well as a big upgrade for Gear Guard Gary to catch more instances when your car might be damaged that it may have missed before. So let's dive right in. First, coming to Gen 1 from Gen 2 is a Go Chime. So this basically is an announcement to remind you that the car in front of you has left. It does require a lead car. It does not currently key off of a light change. So if you're the first car on the line, it won't work. But if you're the second car or later, or you're in stop and go traffic, it will give you a nice pleasant chime in order to remind you to pay attention and get going again. The second semi-autonomous feature that Gen 2 has had that is now coming down to Gen 1 are smart turn signals. So if you are manually changing lanes on the highway, you can complete the change, and once you've completed the change by getting in the center of the next lane, the turn signal will automatically disable. This is not fully featured as, say, the version that Tesla has implemented that works everywhere. It does only work on highways, and the big improvement here is that it works when you're doing it manually. Before, you had to have Driver Plus engaged on Gen 1 vehicles for the turn signal to turn off after completing the manual change. But now, even if you're in adaptive cruise control or no cruise control at all, and you enable the turn signal, complete the lane change, the turn signal will disable when you're on the highway. Now, both Gen 1 and Gen 2 vehicles get a big upgrade to Gear Guard. Previously, Gear Guard would only activate when it detected an actual person approaching your car. And what that meant is that you would often miss clips of people approaching your car that the camera didn't quite get right, or maybe animals, or maybe debris, or a dumpster rolling into your vehicle, or a shopping cart. And so these things should now be better detected with object detection instead of just person detection. This is true on both vehicles. So if you don't have Gear Guard set up, I highly recommend you get that SSD and turn that thing on. The other improvement for both vehicles is a ride comfort improvement. So if you're at low speeds and you're going over what they call asymmetric bumps and dips, which basically is a fancy way of saying speed bumps in parking lots, and you're going over at an angle, the car will rock significantly less. On the infotainment side of things, there's also an upgrade to Sirius XM, so you can dual stream when you're listening to live sports games. You can now scroll through larger Apple Music playlists. There's improved YouTube search and playback, and it notes significantly improved infotainment system responsiveness and reliability across the board, which if you've used your Rivian, you know sometimes it can be a little laggy when touching the icons. That should be much improved in this build. Additionally, they've made improvements to the Alexa integration, allowing for you to specify specific stations within SiriusXM when dialing up audio. Additionally, there's a whole bunch of bug fixes and improvements across both platforms, including improved Wi-Fi self-recovery, a fixed rear display clock when the rear display is in locked mode, reduced level 2 charging time when you're in below freezing temperatures. They also fixed a rare issue with automatic mirror tilting when putting the car into reverse or drive, and they've added notifications for critically low tire pressures. Now, Gen 2 has its list of its own specific bug fixes that are really going to be a nice improvement for Gen 2 owners. That includes improved vehicle wake responsiveness when not at the assigned home location. They've also fixed a calibration issue that caused parked dual standard vehicles to display greater than actual range. They've reduced the vehicle range loss in some cases when your 12-volt battery health is low. They've improved the response time of the key, lock, and unlock. They've reduced intrusiveness of unbuckled occupant notifications, which is a welcome change. They've reduced energy use in some cases where the key fob is left near the vehicle. They've also fixed an issue with Android phone keys that require repairing, and they fixed an issue that prevented a phone key from successfully pairing with a vehicle, which is something we actually experienced on one of our vehicles where my wife's phone would not properly pair as a key to my truck. They've also fixed a rare issue that caused vehicle cabin heating to stop when the vehicle exited a warm garage, but the outside temperature was cold. And lastly, they fixed an issue that prevented version 2 of the powered tonneau cover, which is brand new, from opening in some cases. So as you can see, this is a nice set of updates coming just a few weeks after a really big update of hands-free, which we have an updated video of that coming soon, showing more scenarios and demonstrations of where that system really excels and where it fails a little bit. So stay tuned for that. If you are looking forward to any of these key features or you've been afflicted by any of these bugs that are being fixed, make sure you drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know, are you on a Gen 1? Really excited for the upcoming semi-autonomous features? Are you on a Gen 2? You're looking forward to some bug fixes and the Gear Guard Gary improvement? Either way, let me know. And if you like this video, thumbs up. And if you want to hit more videos like this so you can learn about more software updates, more ways to use your Rivian in interesting ways, and more buyer's guide decisions, make sure you give us a subscribe. Until then, talk soon.